Christ!
I see you bracht your pain, but you need come to ease it. Pity. It eases my pain. More than that is an awful long yarn, and nae to lickly.
Oh, by Berith's bulging ball bag, spare us a tragic tale, you poxy old salt. Tell us a Romaro and we'll be leaving you to your misery.
Seraphim. Romaro described you pointedly. He told me that you would come were ye in danger.
Danger? Nay, not I. But I do seek him, though. And I feel that he needs me. Feel it in the deep depths of my furry fun sack. If you care for him, you'll be telling me what you know.
He bade me not tell anybody of his plans, ye included. He's left this area, afeard of the danger he fashes on those near to him.
He's the nearest thing I got to kin. Why didn't he trust me?
He did trust you. He trusted you wholly. I'll tell you, and trust you to con best what to make of the conning. Romaro treated me as galleon for mine clipper. A stuggy trade, surely, but he insisted that he needed the speed. I can't tell you what he intends, but he set sail for Sayuka, intending to replenish there. That's everything I con, for whatever good it does you.
He gave up the sorcerer? And for what? An elven clipper? Makes as much sense as Doug's on a drake cap. He'd be easy catchings for any freebooter after his hide. That salted cockfarce be the biggest threat, sure as shit. But others will want that bounty too. Not to mention the favour comes with it. Surely thinks he's protecting me. Stubborn as I seem, Captain Watcher. Romaro makes me look the dabbler. Aye. And this steam be doing my fur no favours. Thank you mightily, lass. Enjoy the baths.
Safe travels. The wages of war catch ye up soon or soon. Unless there's anything you need, please, let me to mine water. It eases my pain. More than you may be finding the tale familiar. I fecht in the broken stone war some 2 centuries gone by now. I left the woods of a deer for the eastern reach. I claimed to seek to protect our colonists, but in truth, I sought the glory of battle. Glory were nae to be had. Truth be telt, I hold luckier than most. The Orlans o' Ayr Glanfath walded blades that sheathed spirit as easily as flesh. Some of mine fellas were slaughtered body and soul.
Come again? I don't quite follow your meaning.
Aye, that I do. And a downright vicious bunch they are. One weird o' the will of the gods one. A farmer near about's log home invited the soldiers for dinner. 'Twas hairst, and the crop was rowthy. She and her man devised us a broad and gusty feast. Deer pie and salmon, a stew of cabbage, carrots, and potatoes. Squash roasted with pine nuts, and the sweetest honey bread I ever tasted. The Glanfathans riled the animals. By then we conned the trick, so the captain bade the farmer's family stay within. We skipped into the necht, approached the thick swine, and the arrows began to fall. Ah, the shelter folk, hunters and kempers bred, aimed their arrows true, and 2 of us fell immediately. The Orlans rashed us down, small and shady, visible only by the violet flames that lit their blades. We drank it that firm in blood, both sides. In the end, only I remained, standing in the farmhouse door, holding mine innards in, waiting for another cocksfeather to come and finish the work. I only lived because of that farmer. She sewed me up, fed me till I had health enough to stand. She said she owned me, but I think we both conned that we brought the trouble upon them with our presence. The raiders had been too many a slecht at simple farmhouse. The pine bothered me little in mine youth. I fought ye. I set flames to black trees. I took arms again, the uprising at New Dunreed. After that, little welcome remained me in the new Duke's Kintra, and I travelled northward. Yet with age, the old wounds show new depth. By my count, I've suffered 18 arrows and half again as many stabbings. That I yet live testifies to either my stubbornness or that of the gods. I ranged for years seeking a balm for the growing pine. Drink helped for a time, svev for another. Now, only these baths, infused with Adra, dull the agony. Does that offend ye? I gone your tune, a dearin'. Aye, I did. At the time it seemed recht. Now, I feel less certain. Aye. Thank you for listening. Few day. Lest there's anything you need, please, let me to mine water. It eases my pain. Lest there's anything you need, I've come Romero for a spell and longer. We've done business, little o' it legal, but none o' it ill-hearted.
I thought it were funny that an old that chick from abroad could afford daily baths at magic water, but nary a hint of something sticky on her fingers. Better not to pry further, Cap.
Lest there's anything you need, please, let me to mine water.
Drop a good spice from wouldn't do us any harm. Oh, a drop of good spice from wouldn't do us any harm. Oh, a drop of good spice from wouldn't do us any harm. And we'll all hang on behind, and we'll roll the old Paris wheel along. We'll roll the old Paris wheel along. We'll roll the old Paris wheel along, and we'll all hang on behind. Stew wouldn't do us any harm, and a bowl of harness stew wouldn't do us any harm, and a bowl of harness stew wouldn't do us any harm, and we'll all hang on behind, and we'll roll the old Paris wheel along. We'll roll the old Paris wheel along. We'll roll the old Paris wheel along, and we'll all hang on behind. Oh, a stolen chest of peers wouldn't do us any harm. Oh, a stolen chest of peers wouldn't do us any harm. Oh, a stolen chest of peers wouldn't do us any harm. And we'll all hang on behind, and we'll roll the old Paris wheel along. We'll roll the old Paris wheel along. We'll roll the old Paris wheel along, and we'll all hang on behind. Oh, a skirt skirting on just mortar wouldn't do us any harm. Oh, a skirting on just mortar wouldn't do us any harm. Oh, a skirting on just mortar wouldn't do us any harm. And we'll all hang on behind, and we'll row the old Paris wheel along. We'll row the old Paris wheel along. We'll row the old Paris wheel along, and we'll all hang on behind. Oh, and night in Queensburg wouldn't do us any harm. Oh, a night in Queensburg wouldn't do us any harm. Oh, a night in Queensburg wouldn't do us any harm. And we'll all hang on behind, and we'll row the old Paris wheel along. We'll row the old Paris wheel along. We'll row the old Paris wheel along, and we'll all hang on behind, and we'll row the old Paris wheel along. We'll row the old Paris wheel along. We'll row the old Paris wheel along, and we'll all hang on behind. I found my spine on the Deadfire lines. Tell me way, hey, hoorah! From a deerwood babe to a sailor fine, hoorah for the Deadfire lines. Now Deadfire roots, they make good time. Tell me way, hey, hoorah! With the clear wide straits and inlets fine, hoorah for the Deadfire lines. Oh, they're the lines where you can shine. Tell me way, hey, hoorah! Oh, they're the lines where I spent me prime. Hurrah for the Deadfire lines. Just take a trip to Port Margy. Tell me way, hey, hoorah! To Port Margy, where the sailors stay. Hurrah for the Deadfire lines. Then valiant captains you'll see there. Send me away, hey, hoorah! With the knee-high boots and the fine dark hair. Hurrah for the Deadfire lines. Around Cape White to Port Margy. Send me away, hey, hoorah! Around Cape White, it's a damn long way. Hurrah for the Deadfire lines. Around Cape White with the sky sail set. Send me away, hey, hoorah! Around Cape White, and we're ringing whack. Hurrah for the Deadfire lines. Well, if we drown when we are young, tell me away, hey, hoorah! Well, it's better to be drowned than hung. Hurrah for the Deadfire lines.
To leave Nemnock alone.
Most birds I've seen leave quite a mess. How is his Sheezer so tidy?
He isn't. In fact, he likes to hide his droppings between grimoire pages.
Just when I thought I needed to relax my personal boundaries.
questions, traveler.
Good day. Might I help you with something? Be on your way, then.
Oi, Cap! There he be. There be Romero. Sure as my arse be blue.
I wish you'd not come, my lad. Pleased though I be to see you. Even Aldi's anarchists spare no mercy for mutineers.
Aye, but you, a traitor? The very thought of it be ludicrous. Return with us. I'll be protecting you, and we'll be seeing your fair judging.
I can't, Blue. Much as I loathe to leave. I'm dead to these waters, and they to me.
Break my biscuits and call me Swabby. You've gone addled in your dotage, ain't you? Captain, unsheathe that silvered tongue of yours, and talk some damn sense into this old sort.
I couldn't bear to remain, sheltered or no. It's a hopeless feeling, bearing witness to the slow decline of something I once held such pride in.
There still be pride to be had. Honor, too. Things be changing sure as shit, but you can't thread them narrows if you ain't even at the wheel.
I hope I'm wrong, if only for your sake. I don't think the Principe can survive as is, and I can't watch something I devoted my life to sink into ruin. The Principe have changed, and not for the better. Once, we aligned behind a common purpose. Now, we fractured into two extremes, each wallowing in its own corruption. My crew, those few souls who followed me from the Sorcerer, and I set sail for lands west. The Reach, perhaps, or the Living Lands. Perhaps we'll run trade from Edir or Valia. Wherever fortune leads.
But that be the far fucking side of Aora.
Ach, a journey and a half, to be certain. I've not heard every charge against me, but that of mutiny, of that charge, I bear guilt.
Why? The Sorcerer were our own and kin. We're a cock-swelling pride. And you bartered it to an half-drowned old elf for a pint-bilged fucking clipper. 14 years I spent swabbing them decks. Longer yet for you. Captain Bastion trusted you. I trusted you.
Ac, bon amico. Sientere, Seraphin. I've disappointed you, hurt you. No words can justify my actions. I only hope you believe me, that I did what needed doing.
How can I?
Ac, that I am. Many things. For many reasons. I learned long ago that it's oft-times better to hold your tongue.
A wise watcher once told me that honesty always be best. I didn't believe the words at the time, but they led me right when it counted.
Your journeys with this Watcher have changed you, Blue. You wear it well, bon amico. Captain Bastion had the Sorcerer slaving.
Slaving? What kind of fathom-headed hornswoggle be this? The Sorcerer were my kin. They weren't slaving. I hunted slavers for the Captain. We freed slaves together.
So I also believed. But Bastion sold those we saved to the Crooksburg slavers. I found records of it in his quarters, almost a decade's worth. When I confronted him, it went poorly. Sientere, bon amico. Forgive me. I meant you not to know. To keep your faith in our traditions, to remain optimistic, a bright star within the Principe.
Cut him loose, Cap. Aye, he did the Deadfire a fine turn by sinking them slavers. But among the Consuelo, mutiny means death. Better go on for a no.
Agrasima, Watcher. The Clipper will be loaded soon, and then we'll be away. Cores, Seraphin. Bonai Miko. Take this. May you have rare cause to use it. I hope we meet again someday. On calmer seas.
Cores, Bonamico. Ahoy, Captain! Truth be told, I've not felt so cozy in a crew since my tour on the Sorcerer. With Remoro and the lot. Good times and a half, that. Methinks me more crazy uncle than brother, but I appreciate your saying it all the same. By way of expressing my gratitude, I've a tribute to be presenting. It's meant to be worn by a great captain. I think you rightly qualify. And I think you'll look right spiff in it too. Romaro gifted it to me when I took leave of the Sorcerer. He had this notion I'd make captain myself someday. Mayhaps I coveted a captain's quarters when I were a wee swabby, but serving with Ferrante, with yourself, seeing what leading a crew takes, well, I reckon it's like marrying. It just ain't for me. Now, for first, I've got less than an all-in's thimble worth of patience for all the politics, glad-handing, cronyism and sycophancy that goes along with the Consuelo. But mostly, this heart be twice as soft as this belly. Probably as furry too. And mayhaps I could captain a boat like yourself, all even-keeled and kindly. But you're a rare sort, aren't you?
Most helms could use a captain with a thimble of self-awareness.
I like when people compliment you, Watcher. Shows they're smart.
I've always had a way with the lasses. Pleasure be entirely mine, Cap. May it serve you at least half as well as I.
Priest lady, huh? You deserve better, Captain.
You be boring a hole in me with them eyes, Cap. I'd offer an oboe for your thoughts, but, I prefer not to make deals I ain't got no intention to keep. I'd be fine, actually. Strange though it be. I'm not sure there'd be much to say, Captain. Oh, Cap, didn't feel at all good. What brilliant you are. Sorry about that. Weren't fair to you. That'd be a point and a half. Mayhaps I'll go find myself Romaro one of these days. After we've done dealt with everything here. Ahoy, Captain. What can I do you for? I espy a lurking question, Cap. I were born into slavery, Cap. I never knew no father save Romaro and don't much remember my mother. I do remember the day they tore me from her arms. Her screams. Kind of thing that leaves a mark. It'd have been one thing if I was purchased for labor, to lift or farm or fix or what do you have. But they bought me to fight. Threw me in a fucking pit, set me against other slaves.
There's a special place in hell for souls like that. No, really, they get shredded. Cut right from the cycle.
They transported me twixt one pit and the next by ship. And they would set me swabbing decks. One eve, the sorcerer fell upon them sneaking up in the sunset. When blades were drawn, I availed myself of one. Found me. Romaro brought me aboard the sorcerer. The rest of the story's old. Aye. As a piss-sodden youth in a fighting pit, I was forced to kill 39 other slaves. Some lads and lasses no older than myself. My deepest desire was to slay just one slaver. For my 40th kill, I got my wish. Ahoy, Captain. What can I do you for?
Captain, a word? What, did Ishi defecate in your favorite helmet or something? You've spoken to Aethys, which means you know what we're up against. If the fleet sailed up to him and fired every cannon at once, I imagine we'd have a fighting chance at taking a chip off his kneecap. There's no stopping him, is there? So, that's a no? I suppose there's a certain appeal to recognizing the inevitable. We don't have to waste our breath trying to stop it. It reminds me of the first time I shot to kill. There he stood, a pirate captain barking orders from the forecastle. Out of everyone's range but mine. The wind toyed with us. I took aim, never thinking I'd make the shot, but then I felt this awareness, like someone out there was aiming me. A cannon blast took me by surprise. I squeezed off a shot, expecting it to fly wide, but the bullet took my target between his eyes. I don't know if Bareth kicked open a door or the Sky Mother held my hand, but that man was meant to die. I've got that same feeling now. Better or worse, I know that Aethys is meant to succeed. Choice is a funny word. I never planned to live by the gun. One day I put a bullet through a Bronzoa while the Ranganui happened to be watching, and the rest was history. I can still take pride in my work, if that's what you're asking. Hope I didn't take the wind out of your sail. Whether or not we can change anything, at least we can say we were there. That's more than most people get.
I've got some answers. Well, my parents came from the Deadfire. I'm getting a taste of my roots. After they immigrated to Rauatai, their talents caught the Ranganui's eye. He saw them as this spectacle, this achievement of the old country, I guess. So they were honored guests. Not many Huana rose to distinction in Takoa. We were also curiosities. Even as we broke the same bread and tossed back the same wine, the Ranganui's friends always checked under the table to see if I had a tail. Kana thought it was hilarious. No, I don't. Can't speak for all the tribes, though. Growing up in the Ranganui's shadow wasn't all bad. We had tutors and advisors at our disposal, and lots of folk from stranger parts than these. I spent my days learning to shoot, while my more academic siblings learned to express themselves. I leave you to judge who spent their time better. I won a shooting competition at the Ranganui's estate. This was a few years before enlisting with the Navy. As a reward, he gave me the freedom of the Royal Eyrie and said I could take my pick of the warbirds. Stinkfeathers here kicked a rather pretty hawk off my arm so he could have me all to himself. Been inseparable ever since. Sure am. And I heard that you two spent some time together. Funny how the gods toss things together. He came back from the Deerwood with his head full of stories about the Ingwithans. Used them to make an argument for our expansion into the north, and by the gods did people ever listen. He lost some of that childish glow, but the weird ideas stayed with him. You clearly had some sway on his opinions, more than I ever did. Wish you had told Kana to give up on the poetry. He's got no ear for it. If you want to hear a voice like a powder keg belting out Rowatayan anthems while you're running at a dragon, be my guest. Some of us find it distracting. I do with bullets what Kana did with words. Just in case you were wondering, the comparison ends there. Uh-oh. That's his "I'm hungry and you're wasting my time" face. Better step back, Captain. You were saying? I know exactly what you're thinking. Doubt is healthy. We can work with doubt. You're asking yourself, how did I let the Royal Deadfire Company plant an informant in my crew? My superiors might expect me to report in from time to time, but don't read too much into it. You're not the only big thing happening around here. I'm in this for a lot of information, a little diplomacy, and plenty of target practice. Better that you hear it from me than someone else, right? The company isn't in the business of reassigning officers outside of the mission unless they've got a damn good reason. And you are a damn good reason. Take the compliment. This whole campaign is a risk-benefit analysis. The Navy knows you're a gamble, and they're factoring in all potential losses. Rawatai is here to do some good work, since the Huana can't seem to do it themselves. Maybe just try and stay out of our way. Then I look forward to seeing how long it takes before you find yourself in someone's back pocket. Oh, guess you ought to meet the bird. Ishi is smarter than he looks, but don't expect him to do any tricks. Ishi, come. Takes practice before he'll listen to you properly, but that's a good start. Before we get into deeper waters, I've got a question. You've got a ship and a title. Being captain means more than just wearing a big hat. A lot of tough calls to be made. Life at sea, it does have a way of simplifying things down to the bare elements. A crew can be like family. They can also be like a nest of squalling infants. Let's say your galley cook was fixing to organize the rest of the crew into a mutiny. How would you handle it? Sort it out as equals. Interesting. Of course, the only right answer is the one that works in a given time and place. I just wanted to hear yours. Ask me again when I'm wearing the big hat. That'll be a different Maya. But enough about me. Glad to be aboard, Captain. I've got some answers. Your orders, Captain?
I'd be glad to.